Good morning guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Laura, also known as Butterfly Stitches 83, also known as Cotton and Clay on Instagram, and this is Flossmas day 12. We are halfway through guys, and I'm very chuffed because one, I've kept up with the Evertote stitching, and two, I've kept up with these videos. Confession time, I wasn't sure that was going to happen when I started this plan, so far so good. We'll see how we go as we get closer to Christmas. For anyone who's new here, hello. This is my channel where I talk all about cross stitch. If you want more stitchy videos where I show a lot more patterns and whips, then feel free to check out my regular Flosstube videos. But this is Flossmas, where we are opening my advent calendars and talking about daily stitching during the advent period. No headwear today guys, because I'm letting the earrings shine, both figuratively and literally. I absolutely love these. Wore these to my work Christmas party last night as well. Subtle, I think, very subtle, demure, barely there really. So yeah, letting these guys steal the show today. I only have, first of all, quick thing, funny thing. So yesterday I showed you my day 11 present from the Historical Sampler company, which was our gorgeous little festive charms. And then later on I was talking to my friend Shell from Cheesecake and Cross Stitch and my friend Sarah from Cross Stitch Sarah. And I noticed that because we've all got, it's quite cute because everyone's got like similar, all Christmassy, similar colours, but like slightly different ones. And we were sharing pictures and I was saying, oh, I've got this one, this one and this one. I was like, you know what, I also only got 4. And we were jokingly saying, you know, like, oh, have a word with them, they owe you a charm, like just totally kidding. And then Sarah said, you know what, check the bottom of your envelope because it might have got caught and you might actually have 5. Totally spot on, did. Right, caught in the bottom, emptied it all out again, there was 4. Right in the little crease of the envelope was this tiny little guy. How sweet. He's a little Rudolph. So I'm very glad that thank you Sarah for that little bit of advice. Otherwise I may have thrown away one of my charms inadvertently. So the only bit of stitching I've got today is the Evertote stitching. I didn't think that I would be keeping up, to be totally honest, because I had my work due yesterday afternoon, but I came home fairly early because my tooth was still hurting a little bit, plus I needed to be home because it was my son's concert. He's got a concert tonight and yesterday. We're going to tonight's one. My parents went to yesterday's one and apparently it was brilliant. So very much looking forward to that. But I needed to be home so that my husband could go and pick him up and I could stay with my daughter. So it wasn't a very late one. So I ended up getting home in just enough time to finish my stitching for Evertote. However, this was a labour of love, and it wasn't the fact that it was tricky. In fact, it was probably one of the most simple that we've had so far. It was just the fact that I was so damn tired. Oh, and then halfway through, my sexy light up magnifying specs packed up on me, started flickering and then died. So I used my neck light, which was also had the battery was also dying, so I hadn't used it for a while. So I could barely see, and by the end I was barely conscious because I was kept falling asleep. And the last little bit, I probably should frog it and do it again because you can kind of see how tired I was. The last little one of the leaves, I think it took me an hour just because I kept dropping off and then waking up and doing a stitch and then falling asleep. And instead of taking myself to bed, I just carried on until I got it done. Anyway, got it done, I did. And here we are. We've got all our gorgeous little leaves in that coniferous colour, which is absolutely beautiful, and it looks great. Spot the one where I was dropping off. It looks really good. Very excited to see today's, but didn't do any other stitching yesterday. Don't know if I'll be keeping up tonight because, as I say, we're going to the concert tonight and it doesn't finish till fairly late. So whether I'll be keeping up, I don't know, but otherwise I'll be doing some catching up at the weekend. A couple of you mentioned in the comments that I was going to the cube. So I'm going to give you a very, very brief, because I'm starting work very shortly, a very, very brief review of it. So if that's boring to you, then just skip for a couple of minutes. So yes, we went to Canary Wharf for our work Christmas do. We went to Canary Wharf to the Cube, which is, as you'd expect, exactly like the TV show. It's awesome. It's very expensive, and I'll get to that. So I'd love to take my son and my husband there, but it's really expensive in my opinion. But you can kind of see why, because I mean, work paid for this, so well, most of it. You can kind of see why it's expensive, because the infrastructure and the setup is so slick. It's very good. So yeah, you rock up, very unassuming building, go up in a lift, and then you walk straight in, and it's like, it's brilliant. There's probably maybe 12 to 15 cubes set up, cube rooms like in the program, over like 3 stories. There's maybe 3 or 4 bars as well. Then there's different areas to eat or reserve tables if you're there with a group. And it looks like they did quite a lot of food. So yeah, it looked really good fun. Food wise, I'll just skip ahead. After we'd done our games, we then had food. We had like kind of like hot buffet, so we had like samosas and gyoza and nachos and chips and that kind of thing, and it was very tasty. But while we was playing, I was seeing people going past with food, and I saw a guy going past with like a huge tray of burgers. They looked amazing, and these huge pizzas, which also looked amazing. I wasn't drinking, sadly, but I had a mocktail, and that was very tasty. So it was very fun. You get divided up. There was about 15 of us in our group, but you get divided up into sort of squads of 4 made up of 2 teams of 2, and you kind of go head to head. Some of the games, both of you go in, and some of the games you have to pick which of you think is going to be better, and you get 1 swap each, and you get 1 simplify each. I'm going to assume in this review that you've all seen the program. And the swap just means that you can swap with your partner, basically, but the simplify is just like the program. And it's exactly like the program in that the simplify is like barely worth it. The annoying thing is that they have, so each cube is set up for a different game, but you don't get to pick which ones you go to. So they allocate you 7, in our case, I'm assuming there's different packages, but they allocated us 7 different games. You get an app, and it tells you which game you're doing next, and then you go to that particular cube, has the name of the game, you go to that cube, and then on the wall it tells you, you know, you're due to start now, or sometimes there's someone finishing their game and you watch, which is kind of part of the fun. Like, we were cheering on all the strangers and stuff, but then when you're doing it, it's kind of scary because people are watching you, and it's like even more pressure. So yeah, I'm not going to tell you all the games because it would take forever, but we did some really cool ones. So you had the one where you have 20 balls and you have to get them all in the hole, and you can only use one hand. That was pretty much the only one that I managed to do. I was terrible, as anticipated. We did the one where you have all the balls, you lift it up, they scatter everywhere, you have a certain amount of time to pick them all up and put them back in. The simplify on that was an extra 2 seconds. That's how lame the simplify was. That is challenging. There was one where we had to throw a ball into a really high tube, but there was a particular zone you couldn't go in. We had one where you had to look at a pattern on the floor, and then you had to remember it after it flipped the other side and went like as a mirror. I'm not remembering these very well. We had one where we had to carry balls on these like flat trays and then tip them into a thing, into a bucket. We had the one that you see on telly all the time. We have to bounce the ball onto 2 or 3 platforms into the bucket. It was really good fun. Really, really good fun. I was awful. I feel like I let my partner down. And then the other 2 in our 4-1. But it was really, really good fun. So I highly recommend, if you've got the money. So it's in Canary Wharf, as I say. And we paid, I don't know if we got a corporate rate or if this is just what everyone paid, but I heard that we paid £89 per head, which was, as I say, for the 7 games, 2 drinks and the little buffet food. I mean, I suppose for London, I guess that's not that much, but it just seemed like a lot to me. So, but if you can go, I had some family members of mine went earlier in the year as well, and they loved it. They went for a 60th birthday. So yeah, if you can go and you've got a big group of family members or work colleagues, it is a real good laugh. It'd be perfect for a birthday. It'd be really good for, I don't think it's over 18s only, so it'd be really good for like a teenage birthday party. And my son would absolutely love it. But yeah, it's really, really, really great fun. Highly recommend if you live in the south and yeah, and it's your cup of tea. So that was my little review. Sorry about that. Just wanted to share that because I know a couple of people would message me and said, oh, let me know what it's like. So let's quickly do advents for today because then I've got to start work. Joy of joys. Right, let's start with historical sampler, number 12. We've got more metallic thread, anchor this is, and this is a silver. It's a beautiful silver. I haven't tried my previous one, so I cannot comment yet. But next time I need some metallic, I will give it a go and I will let you guys know. Thank you, historical sampler. Let's go Puntini Puntini. See what today's pattern is. Oh, this one is sweet. I've seen this one earlier in the year. Oh, how funny. It would have been really funny if I'd got this yesterday when we had our tea-themed Evertote as well. So like tea and rain. We go together like tea and rain. Really, really sweet. I think I would stitch that without the banner, just because I don't drink tea. And I think it's really beautiful, like without as well. Absolutely lovely. Gorgeous. Thank you, Paola. Really pretty. Really nice colours as well. And last but not least, Evertote. Let's see what additions we've got today. Oops. So, I don't understand. What's new? Oh, okay, so there's a few bits at the bottom. See, this is what's always fun. I have to then try and figure out where the new stitches are. I'm missing something. I've got to do a big comparison between this and yesterday's pattern, because essentially all I can see at this point is some little bits underneath the little sort of diamond motifs from yesterday. Oh, and we've got a bit more red as well on the top of that. Maybe that's it. I'm going to be checking all over to make sure that that is actually it. And I'll also be watching Caroline's video. Caroline's video helps me a lot to show me exactly where it is. But today we've got another poem, but I will not be reading it. Oh, hang on, wait. I didn't think there was an English version. So we've got right, so let's see what Jacob says. So, head over to the Modern Folk Embroidery YouTube channel today, as I'll be sharing some strange Icelandic holiday traditions. And one assumes that these words are Icelandic. Oh God, forgive my ignorance. Is Icelandic a language, or do they speak something else? God, I'm sorry. I really should know that, but I don't. But there is English underneath, which I will read. Yule lads walk the floor with a thick staff in their hands. Their mother sweeps the floor and spanks them with a rod. On a chair stands my jug. 9 nights before Christmas, I come to humans. Well, I have no idea what on earth that's on about, but I'm hoping that I will know a bit more when I go and watch Jacob's video. But it's a very beautiful, haunting picture. Gorgeous. all of this is going to make lovely floss drops for me. I love it. And yes, we've got 100 of the new colour, which I'll show you in a second, and 76 of now I'll point this out to you guys as well. For clarification, go to Caroline off the Grid Needle Arts YouTube Flossmas from yesterday, and she's talking about she was giving us a heads up that there is an error on the pattern. So as you know, at the bottom Jacob puts these telling us like what we're how many stitches in the new colour, how many stitches in the other colours, and the day 12 there's 100 stitches. That's fine, we've got day 12's thread, and it says on here day 7 76 crosses, but Caroline mentioned to follow the symbols, not to follow what it says down there, because the symbols are actually the day 1 colour, the red, the suitable colour, which is the little heart symbols. So yeah, just a heads up in case you haven't watched that. Don't take my word for it because I've probably not explained it very well, but head over to Caroline's Off the Grid Needle Arts YouTube from yesterday, and she'll probably mention it today as well. And just to clarify that you've got that right. But it's only 176 stitches. So as far as I can tell, it's only those 2 places. So that's good. I might get that done. I might do it in my lunch hour. That could work. And the floss from today is called Ice Rink. And it's this beautiful, icy, bluey grey, which I think is probably, yeah. So it's kind of like a lighter version of our previous floss slate. You sit them next to each other. They're a similar tone. It's like a lighter version. So they'll probably look fabulous together. Awesome. Thank you so much. I think that's it. I've now got to work. And then I'm going to see my son's show. Very exciting. And I will see you tomorrow morning for day 13. Lots of love, guys. Happy stitching. Bye.